Hello everyone, it's the Cowboy. Hey, welcome to ALTCOINS Cafe. This is episode 3. I haven't done an episode here in about a couple of weeks, so let's jump right onto it. It's kind of our regular schedule in here. You can find us here on Telegram at ALTCOINS Cafe. Then, there's a public chat, there's a premium room, and also you can find me on Twitter at ALTCOINS Cafe. Not that active on Twitter, but every once in a while I'll get on there, so you can contact me on this. Mostly active on Telegram. Right, guys, let's jump onto it and see where things are. I have about 28 alts to talk to you about today and see where those are. Now, the good news here is that they continue to rally, but I guess, some of the bad news is that we're starting to get super extended in this advance. And, I'm not trying to be an alarmist or to ring any bells in here, but I am expecting these things to start to slow down a little bit, or at least, do some kind of a pullback after we finish. Most of them are in this kind of larger primary third wave. I have it kind of labeled, and then we should get a fourth wave and then another 5 to kind of complete a much larger pattern. So maybe this moves will continue here towards the middle, maybe towards the end of the year. Then we should get into a period where alts will start to kind of pull back in a more serious manner. So for right now, let's enjoy the uptrend. Things continue to look pretty good. And let's jump through them. So I'm going to start here. I kind of have them in alphabetical order, so they don't jump on me here on the screen. But so we'll start with ADA. So ADA in here, I think we're still in this larger third wave primary, but I think this is probably going to get finished, not long after this pullback. You can see the RSI is really losing momentum badly, and these are 2-day charts. So this is a signal for me that this is some kind of a fifth wave advance that's probably going to get terminated. I'm not sure. I mean, I'm not going to call a top in here, but it could be anywhere between, let's say, $2 and $3, somewhere in those neighborhoods where this thing can kind of finish up. Now, that's still a lot of percentage gains from here, but we should get then a fourth wave pullback and then a fifth wave. You can see I don't really have a big correction to match with the second wave, so that's why I'm allowing for this thing to continue to move higher. Right, the next one on my list is BAT. So BAT, and ignore everything that kind of happened prior to this March 2020, because I think this was a major low into most of the cryptos, and some of them have been rallied before that, and some of them have different lows, but I think what I'm doing here is I'm counting basically from the most obvious low kind of going upwards through this impulses, because the easiest thing to spot is the fact that you've been running up and you can see clearly, right, this is your impulsive third wave. So I'm going to count that as a 1, 2, and then as a wave 3 in progress. The subdivisions here are a little bit tricky. I don't think they matter a whole lot. I think there's still a little bit more to go in BAT before this third wave finishes. Then we should get a fourth wave and then a fifth, and that should finish up, one of these kind of first cycles to the upside. The next one that I have is BCH, which has been really getting aggressive here since March. So similar story, we're going up in a wave 1 in here, wave 2. You can argue that this move here is in 3 waves. It can be a flat. It doesn't really matter. The idea here is that this is a larger third wave advance. And there's a series of 1s and 2s in here that can probably be identified if we dive down. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this one. Basically what I want to show you the bigger picture. I spend a lot more time in our pro room regarding the internals of some of these counts and where we are in the exact sequence. But, overall, I think this is just a, kind of a better perspective in terms of where we are in the longer trend. So this third wave, it's pretty aggressive. It could extend a little bit more, but, I don't know if it's got a whole lot more room to go to the upside before we're going to start kind of correcting lower in this fourth wave. So we'll continue to let it develop. The market should send us pretty good signals once this third wave is over. So you can continue to notice that most of these alts are in this larger third wave primary. Then we have BNB in here, which has been a very, very good performer and continues to rally. Now this one has a little bit of a slightly different structure since it's older, but I think this is a 1-2 cycle, and then I'm going to a 1-2 primary. So just focusing on this wave third primary, that's a 1 and a 2. We're losing momentum here into the RSI, so the markets are cooling off as this larger third wave gets near finish. I think there might be a little bit more room to the upside to go, but I think we're starting to lose a bunch of momentum into this one. And maybe we'll hit 1,000, maybe not. It's very, very hard for me right now to kind of buy this thing thinking that I'm going to make a whole lot of money from here on, right? You kind of wanted to get onto this thing on the wave to pullback, or just as this pattern was trying to create a nice base, and this is time to take profits and reduce positions into BNB. But this is the count. This fourth wave, this third wave primary should be followed by a fourth wave decline that should match the second. So there'll be quite a few months, if not a year, of a downside price action in BNB or sideways. All right, the next one in here, I'm going to skip Bitcoin and Ethereum because I've talked about them last week. You can see the video on our channel on Bitcoin and Ethereum Elliott wave analysis. So skipping this, the next one on my list here is BTT. So this is the BitTorrent. It's been a very, very good performer as well. And similar story. I think we might have already hit a wave 3 primary onto this one through a 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And I think the market is probably going to go sideways in here in this larger fourth wave. We'll see, how long this is going to take. Just kind of take some fib time measurements with this wave 2. And if we're making a new high in here, that's totally fine. They're probably wrong in some of these subdivisions. But I think the meat of the move is already done, maybe a little bit higher, and then pull back. Consolidation for a few weeks or a few months, and then one more push up higher to complete this larger wave fifth. Dodge, wow, Dodge is the next one in here. I can't believe I'm looking at it, but it's been a super good performer, obviously. Wave 1, wave 2. If you're going to argue that this is not a third wave, I don't know. Maybe you need to kind of look back at your Elliott wave structures, and I mean, I'm open to comments on this, obviously, but this is a clear third wave advance, and it's probably in the final stages. The RSI is super overbought. It can continue to stay overbought, but this looks like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think we're in the final wave 5 stages of this larger third, followed by a fourth wave pullback and another fifth wave. So it looks good. I think the meat of the move, the money has been kind of made already into Dogecoin. So squeezing the last portion in here, it could be dangerous for your health. Let's continue to look at that. Very nice impulsive move in here as well. So this is a larger third wave primary. 1, 2. This fourth wave in here, it's a big old mess. I'm still expecting maybe another move up higher to complete fifth, and then we should retreat lower. EOS, it's the one that's one of my favorites. Actually, it's been underperforming for quite a while, and I think it's got quite a lot of room to go to the upside. It's one of the laggards. And we've talked about getting into EOS. Back here as we were kind of breaking out of the space. I've been all over it in our room. Our members kind of suggested to take a look at it, and it's been a pretty good breakout out of here. So if you look at it, just measuring it from here in a 1, 2. This is another 1, 2 in here, and I think we're beginning a much larger advance in EOS. So this third, fourth, and fifth that can possibly take us, to 20, 30, maybe even 40 into EOS before this kind of larger third wave finishes. If you compare with some of the other coins, right? This is, I can't really take this third wave in place in here because it's gonna look completely out of place. So I think we're in that kind of third of a third move in here that's going to continue to push higher. So we have counts for smaller time frames and kind of where we look to maybe enter or add to the positions as some of these patterns kind of complete in here. So come and visit us into the room. I have a lot of details on those as well. So let's go back and I'm going to skip Ethereum, Bitcoin because I've talked about it last week. So Filecoin in here, it's one that it's kind of interesting as well. I think it's done already the bigger move to the upside in this larger third wave, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's a fourth wave that could still be developing. So I'm not going to be surprised if we're going to make one more low, but I think the direction is going to continue to be higher in here to finish up this larger fifth wave, and then we'll see what happens. So overall, I'm still expecting these highs to be taken out to 34 in the future here. ICX, so Icon, it's one that's been it's been performing well, but it's not as aggressive, right, in terms of percentage gains, and I think it's just kind of starting its advance. So 1 sharp 2, 1, 2, nice third of a third in here, possibly fourth wave still in progress, a push up higher here in fifth to complete third, fourth, and fifth. IOTA, it's another one of my favorites. We've been all over it since we kind of broke this 46. We've actually gotten long right before these breakouts, and we're enjoying, a super nice move. This is kind of what you want. You want to get advantage of that third of a third. After you build a base, you buy the breakout, and then you start to sell and reduce your positions as you're finishing the larger degree trends. Third, take some of here, maybe reestablish a little bit, and then try to squeeze a little bit more in the larger fifth wave towards maybe $5 to $6 into the IOTA. Link is another one that's been dragging along a little bit, and I think it's it has a pretty good count. I'm not going to bother necessarily about what happened before these levels. There could be a wave 1 cycle with a wave 2 cycle. I'm kind of focused on this, which is a 1, nice flat in 2, another 1 and another 2 in here. And I think Link, it's got a pretty powerful trend. The RSI continues to be trending. You can argue with some of these divergences in here, but they're not, they're just kind of spread out. And I think some of these deeper corrections already cleaned that up. So I think Link, it's going to continue to be a good performer moving forward. You can place a channel. I have smaller time frame counts as well on it, but I think this continues to push in a 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. The next one in here, it's Litecoin. Litecoin, it hasn't made a new all-time highs yet, so I'm going to look forward to that. My targets on this thing are probably towards $1,000, and we'll see how soon we're going to achieve those. It's been pretty choppy in this advance. We could be, maybe near completion of this third wave. You can place a bunch of fibs in here. I can spend, an hour talking about, subdivisions and fibs and projections and multiple extensions and things like that. I don't have time into this video. Again, I present all of those into the room in our daily videos, but you can come here and look in the 1, 2, 1, 2, larger third that I think it's still in progress, 4th and 5th to complete that larger third. All right, Luna, it's another one that I think it's near its possibly terminal phases. I mean, listen, look at this thing, right? Clear third wave advance. Maybe I'm wrong on the subdivision and you do one more up, but then you're going to fall back, and I think it's kind of tired, right? Look at the RSI loss of momentum in here. So be careful on Luna. Neo, it's another one that continues to look pretty good and impulsive in here. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So maybe we're finishing this 3rd, 4th, and 5th, 4th and 5th to the upside. Solano, am I saying that right? Again, this one, it's been a pretty good performer. Now, the subdivisions in here are tricky because they're very short. So my best interpretation at the moment is a 1, 2, 3, 4, and that's maybe an extended 5th wave. It's a little bit long, if you ask me. So maybe this is still part of this third wave primary. I can push it in there, followed by a 4th and another 5th. But I think it's nice and trending, but I don't have a very, very good read on it overall. It's just one of those that doesn't give me enough corrections to establish a good pattern. But the trend is up. So continue to look for rejections, and then we'll modify the counts. THETA in here, it's another one that's been, pretty great. 1, 2, 3, 4, I think 5 for a very short second wave. You can place the second wave back in here as well, and then look for a 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, 4, and 5. So there might be another push up higher, but again, we're at a very, very deep loss of momentum in here into the RSI, and this thing maybe will push higher one more time and then fall off. So, we will look for maybe to get into some of, better corrections, better entry points into this one. Tronics it's one that's been, acting pretty well. It's got a pretty strong count. Finished larger second wave cycle that took a couple of years in here, right? I mean, you got 1 year, 2 years, and a quarter, and then you go into 1, 2. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I think this wave 3 is still in progress. I mean, I would barely reach equality with this wave 1, so I think there's more room to go into this one. I like it maybe towards even $1, maybe towards the middle to the end of the year. So Tronics, to me, it has a good looking pattern overall. So Uniswap in here, it's tricky too because it's got a big old mass in here. It seems to get tired into the RSI by looking at it as a 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, maybe a flat in 4, another push up higher in this 5th wave, and we could be done and then get a correction back to the 4th wave. VET, pretty nice clean structure again in a 1, 2. So you can notice the pattern in almost all of them, right? That we're looking for this larger third wave primary to finish, and we're in the middle we're towards the final stages of those moves into most of them, right? I mean, there's like hundreds of these coins, and I looked the other day into our room at 150 of them, and just kind of went not through the counts but kind of through the patterns. And some of them look better than others. You just kind of have to find them a little bit better and just make sure you have the right count. So VET is a 1, 2, 1, 2. I think wave 3 maybe near completion, one more push up higher, then a 4th, then a 5th. Guys, also I want to tell you to make sure that you're going to subscribe to this channel and like it, and tell people about it, what we're doing on Elliott Wave, on Bitcoin, on Ethereum, on Macro Cafe, and all these other things that we do. I'm not done with the video, so stay with me because we're going to continue to push, but I just want to remind you to subscribe and like. So from that, we're going to go to XLM in here, and this is one of my favorites. It hasn't been, we got long on it at about 4 cents, but it hasn't really, it hasn't really pushed too aggressive once it's done this correction. So I really don't know what to think of it. I think we're near the end stages of this larger third wave, but based on the subdivisions, it's very easy to move this third wave back in here, put this wave fourth, and consider this being a fifth. So I'm on high alert for me to reduce my position on Stellar. I think longer term is a pretty good one that's going to continue to push higher. I just don't want to really sit to a correction that's going to look something like this. That's going to come back 3, 4, and 5, push higher, and then we're going to get a deeper correction, something like that, right? For about 60 to 70%, right? I want to kind of sell most of my position and then reinitiate it back on a deeper pullback. But overall here, I think we still have some juice left into the trade. And then XMR Monero, again, just a super nice clean uptrend. 1, 2. I think this is another 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 flat in 2. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I still think this thing it's got quite a bit of power. I mean, you can look into the RSI, right? You don't have divergences, and it's being overbought, getting back, being bought again, but it's a trending RSI, right? So that continues to look good to the upside. And then XRP, wow, the XRP, it had a deep sell-off following those news with them being blocked and whatever happens with the SEC. But there was a second wave pullback into the 78.6. So this is a 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for 1 second wave pullback. Now keep in mind that the second wave pullback might still need to unfold. So I'm not surprised that this is going to be an AB and you're going to get another C, come back and really retest these levels and then push back up higher. But the chart looks good. I think that this has got potential to continue to move towards, I don't know, $3, $4, $5. I don't know what that does to the market cap, but so far this chart looks pretty awesome. And then Tezos, again, it's one that's been a big underperformer. I think this one is going to explode to the upside. Again, we own this thing since about 3 to 4 cents, $3 to $5. And I've had a count in here as a 1, 2, 1, 2. I've switched it to a leading diagonal. Hopefully I'm not breaking any rules in here. It looks kind of good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 with the sharp drop here in the second wave, then another 1 and another 2, and now we're beginning to rip to the upside in the larger third. So that's my count on Tezos. Again, we have a bunch of internal counts into the room, but I think larger picture, this is kind of what I'm looking at, and I'm looking, to travel to hopefully keep it and hold it until we're getting to about $30 to $40 into Tezos. And then the last one that I have on here, I have Verge, but Verge is not. I don't have a good count on Verge on the Motivate software, so I'm not going to jump into it, but I do have a count. So ZRX in here, looks like a 1, 2, and then I'm afraid to place a third wave in here because I think it's way too short, right? So I think this is another 1 and 2 of this larger sequence. So intermediate. Wave 1 and wave 2, and then this wave 3 should continue to push to the upside into some 161.8 to 161.8 fib multiple. So a big loss of momentum right into the RSI. I mean, this is a little concerning that this wave could be close to completion and then a sharp pullback. So I'm going to close off by saying these, right? Some of the alts are showing me really good relative strength. Some of the other ones are losing a bunch of momentum, and you can get way deeper pullbacks. So make sure that the ones that have been very, very aggressive, as I've shown in here, be prepared for them to create some kind of a pullback and correct those overbought and divergences into the RSI. But some of the other ones act pretty well. Overall, I'm pretty bullish on the crypto market. I'm continuing to be bullish on Bitcoin and on some of the alts. Again, come and visit us into the Pro Room for daily videos where I talk about the S&P 500. I talk about gold. I talk about altcoins and Bitcoin, and we review charts and answer questions into the chat room and all that good stuff. There's a free 7-day trial available if you want to try us out, see how it feels for you. There's a 7-hour course with the 1-month subscription as well if you wanted to dive deep down and learn the LA principle. Otherwise, I'll see you guys. I think on Saturday I have the Macro Cafe, and then next week I think it's again Bitcoin and Ethereum. So we'll keep going at it. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and like, and I'll talk to you later. Bye bye.